Hi YouTube. Okay, I did promise another knitting tutorial this week, and I know this one is coming in at the last hour, but it is a knitting tutorial. We are going to make some little stuffed bunny toys. So this would be really cool with the Westra, Easter, whatever you want to celebrate, chocolate day coming up at this time of year. And it's a really cool little handmade gift that you can do. Now, to make these, what we need is scissors, pen and paper just to keep track of your stitches if you're not using a stitch counter. We need our normal hooks and needles. We're once again using our small 24 peg loom. You want either single colour chunky or two strands, so two balls of DK, and a dark colour for decoration. This is a good way to use up leftover wool as well, because you don't need a huge amount of it, so it works well for that. The other thing you will need is some sort of poly toy, soft toy stuffing. If you don't want to buy a huge amount, this came out of a little craft kit that belongs to my daughter, but if you don't want to buy a huge amount, you can just buy throw pillows, the insides, and cut them open. If you want to do this without your cat stealing your tools, you'll probably find this easier. Okay, so we're going to start by taking our two strands of the pale DK. I'm doing this in quite natural colours. You don't have to. You can make bright pink rabbits or hares if you want to. So start by doing our little slip knot and popping on here. Now, we're not actually using this as to knit in the round for this project. We are using it to knit a flat panel. So all we're going to do is wrap all of the pegs. Get tangled. Okay. Missed one. Right, okay. So what we need to do at this point, I'm just going to push all these stitches down. It is because we're not knitting in the round, we're not just going to keep going around and add the next wrap on here. We're going to go backwards. Okay, so we ignore the sort of the first peg because you use that as a turning peg, so it's only gone around once and then you come back to this one. Yeah, and you do this in all flat knitting. You kind of ignore the first one you're about to wrap and use it as a turning peg, and it just gives you a much neater edge on your work. I think we're about to be invaded by kittens. Since I started doing this video, we've adopted 2 new kittens, so it's gets interesting working with yarn in the house. Okay, so we wrap all of these. All the way back. And then you just knit them over as you would if you were working in the round, but obviously we're not. We're going to work flat. What you want to do is you want to keep going like this, and you want to do a total of 30 rows. And that's it pretty much. It is literally just plain wrap and knitting backwards and forwards as a flat panel, and yeah, keep going until you've done 30 rows, and then I will meet you back here. Hey, okay, we have done our 30 rows. And now what we need to do is take it off the loom. What I want you to do is leave quite a long tail on this. I know it's a pain to work with, but you want to make sure. The best way to do it is to actually wrap it around your loom. So if you take this and you wrap it around once, and then wrap it around twice, and then a little bit extra, and cut there. Okay. Okay. Now to take this off a loom, we're going to do a drawstring cast off. It's a cast off we've done a lot of times when we've been working in the round, and it works. It's actually really important that we have the drawstring for this one. So even if where you've done the other designs, if you've kind of, or other patterns with me, and you've changed it and done a different method of cast off, normally that's absolutely fine, but in this case we need the drawstring. So what we're going to do is, all we do is we start at the last peg that we knitted, which is that one, and you're going to go down through it, and you're going to bring the yarn back around and onto the next one, and go down and through, not letting your yarn get tangled on other pegs. And basically you're going to keep going like this, just running that yarn down and through until you've gone round all of the pegs and you're back here. Okay, so you do that and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, I've now gone down and through all of the stitches all the way around. So what I haven't done is, quite often I knot it in the last one. Normally you'll see me tie a little knot here. I haven't, it's just loose. It's through the last one, but it's not knotted. You can take your needle off there now, so you've just got the yarn. Leave it like that, because we do need to be able to pull that drawstring later on in the project, so just leave it loose for now. And you can take this off of your loom. Like I say, don't panic if it feels like the stitches are really loose when you're flicking them off at this point. It's perfectly normal for them to feel like they've got a bit of slack in the tension. And the last one, there we go. Okay. So now what you have is this little sort of square. Yeah, slightly rectangle square. Okay. And that is exactly what we want. See, you've got that just threaded through there. But we're not going to pull it just yet. We're going to leave it for now. Now with the bit at the other end, the end where we started, you don't actually need this for anything. So if you pop your slip knot out, you can secure this end. Go. So we're just going to feed it through there. Back through those loops and pop a small knot in it. There we go. And then these ones can be trimmed. Great. Okay, now we're going to pop this to one side for the minute, because what we need to do next is to make a pom-pom. Now, if you have a pom-pom maker, that's absolutely fine. If you don't, bear with me. I'm going to show you a cheat to get around that. Okay, all I've done here, which you'll be able to see, is take a cut just with, this is any sort of scrap cardboard you've got lying around. Literally just take a oblong of it and cut a strip down the middle to just over halfway. You don't need to buy pom-pom makers, you can do this, it's way easier. Now, what we do then is we get hold of our wool, leave a bit of a tail on it, and we just wrap. And keep wrapping until it gets really thick. I'm going to put a little bit of the accent colour I've got here through this as well. You don't have to do this, but I just think it'll look cool, so I'm going to give it a try and just do a little bit of it in with it. See, I'm not being immensely neat and tidy with this, that's fine. I'm going to take that grey back out. Do a little more here. And that should do. Okay, now I'm going to cut this off, and then what I'm going to do is just get one of these, cut a length of it. Sorry, lock my camera. And thread a needle. Now what we do here is we push it through the bottom of the slot underneath where we've been wrapping. So we have a piece of thread each side, like that. And then we just pull one up and round, and we tie this as tight as we possibly can. Like, ah! And sometimes that happens and it snaps. It's okay. If that happens, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grey yarn because I think it's a little bit stronger, and I'm also going to use double sort of thickness. So there we go. And I'm just going to push, grab my needle, push it through. Get on the other side, you. Push it through, snip it off, and take these two pieces, again pull them through. Haha. And pull this, that's better, tight. Probably do with being a little tighter, but we're going to take it off of here first, then we can tighten it up if we need to. So all we do now is cut the sides. You do tend to get fuzz kind of everywhere. A sharper pair of scissors than I'm using is probably advisable. And we can pull that out of there. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, that middle could do with being a little tighter. But it's fine, it works, it holds it all in there. Get a few loose bits that I've managed to escape being tied. And all I'm going to do is pull this really tight. And then all you need to do is shape the pom-pom basically. So this, you tend to get them a bit more straggly than you do if you do them on a proper maker. So you can just go around and trim the edges. Don't obsess about making it perfectly symmetrical, because you will be trimming for hours and you will end up with a pom-pom the size of a marble. Just get it roughly shaped so it's a little neater than it was when you started. Ooh. Like that. And there we go. Pom-pom. Just keep track of where that centre band is. You sometimes really have to dig for it, because you'll need to run a stitch through there to secure it once we get to that stage. Okay guys, we've got our knitted square, we've got our pom-pom. I am using a ridiculously big pom-pom for this because I think it'll look cute. Like the bunny will have a giant tail. Obviously if you want to make a smaller one, just use skinnier bits of cardboard or a smaller pom-pom maker, or just trim it down more. It's totally up to you. You can do this however you want. Okay, now normally we use this as the right side, but I actually think it looks better if you use this side as your right side for this project. Thing is, we need to work from the wrong side. So we're going to have this side up. So this is the side we're not going to see. Okay, I'll not see as much. The side with our drawstring needs to be at the bottom, and we need to have the original cast on end at the top. Now what you need to do is you need to take a length of your working colour yarn, and you need a good run of it. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I want you guys to be able to see where I'm actually working on this one, is run a length of this colour in with it as well. I'm not going to leave this in when I've actually sort of finished working on the piece. I'm going to remove it. I'm purely putting it in there because I want you guys to be able to see where this stitching is going. You'll see why in a second. But I am doing it to make things a little bit easier for you. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to find sort of the halfway point on your piece, and you want to be about halfway up as well as down, so you are kind of aiming for square center here. What you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to do a running stitch. You know what I mean by running stitch, I'm sure. Going to leave that end hanging there. You're going to do a running stitch right out to the edge. This is hard around a camera. Okay, you can see on the grey one where that's gone, yeah? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that this is coming through on the camera so you can actually see where it's going. Now, when you go straight up the top, and you're going to do this as a triangle up to there. So, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, guys, but the neater you can do it, the better. That's what I'm aiming for there. And you're coming back down the other side. You're making a big triangle here, guys, basically, okay? So you're coming back down to there-ish. And back across to the center. No, little kitten, this is not for you. You cannot have it. Okay. And we're back here. Okay. We're going to leave this really long thread on here. We're going to keep this open like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our stuffing and we're going to pop it in the center of that triangle we've made, and then you are just going to pull these drawstrings. It can take a good amount to pull them through. Pull from both sides. If one side gets stuck or snared up, pull from the other. And just keep tucking it in. Thank you, Spriggan. I do not need your help pulling. No, thank you. I knew we would get kittens. And just keep pulling and pulling until they come together. You can't see the dark coloured one, so I'm just going to leave it in rather than go on the hassle of pulling it out now, because it's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie these in a knot. There's lots of tying of tight knots here, okay? If it's not the pom-poms, it's rabbits. No. Now we've got that nice and tight, we can just cut these away. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to leave a couple of them out because this might be the tidiest way to leave this. So we're just going to leave those there. I'm going to cut the two grey ones out. And we're going to keep these ones here. Now, what we need to do is we need to get more stuffing. A little more this time. Get in. I think we need more. Yeah. And then we're going to get our drawstrings on the bottom from our cast off, and we're going to pull them tight. Nice and tight. Oh, bunny, bunny, bunny. These are so cute and they're so easy as well. I think he is the right way though. Yes. Here we go. Okay. We can primp him at the end. Okay, here. And then we're going to take these two from the bottom of our drawstring. And we're going to stitch up his back. Again, just do this via a running stitch. Make the seam as neat as you can, because it is a visible seam. I do like to give this a little tug and gather it slightly, because I think it just gives the rabbit slightly better shape. And once we get to the top, what we can do there is we can unthread the needle, take the two pieces from where we pulled that little head in, and then we're going to pull these nice and tight so it's all together at the top. And then we can just trim this. You might want to leave a bit of length on these, and then you can sort of tuck them down through the knitting inside the project. Yeah. And there we have our bunny. Now what we need to do is give Bunny a tail, and he'll kind of stand up like that. So to do that, we just take our little pom-pom that we made, and we're going to just pop him through there, go through from one side, and then we're just going to tie him on. Actually, I tell you what we'll do, we'll go through from the other side as well before we tie him, and then it makes the join a little bit stronger. And you kind of have to give them a bit of a squish and a bit of a, to get them in shape. Bunny. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to give them some little eyes. You don't put too much detail on the faces of these guys. You can give them little noses as well if you want. I normally just do the eyes. You can also give them little, you know, you can use buttons for the eyes. If you have soft toy eyes, you can use the soft toy eyes. Just going to thread my needle. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie a little knot in this end. And what I'm actually going to do is go all the way through. I'm going to pull. Yeah. And then I'm just going to do some little crosses. Keep you out. You're going to come out in the right place. There we go. I'm going to tie these two here. Then I need my scissors. I'm covered in fluff, but that's fine. I'm just going to trim these way down. And then you can just use the end of your knitting hook to just kind of push these inside. Yeah. And just stuff them back in. Reposition the little eyes and primp them a little bit, and then your has a little bunny. Bunny, 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 Easter bunny. Hey, so you can give him a little mouth if you want, and a little nose. Give him a little nose. And that is how you make a little knitted bunny. Go and make loads for Easter. They're cool. Or extra. It can be hairs.